Hello and welcome to Seniors Vitality Hub, your trusted place for natural ways to stay healthy, strong and full of energy at any age. Today's video might surprise you because we're talking about 7 fruits you should stop eating if you want to protect your leg strength and mobility. Yes, even fruits can cause problems if you're over 60 and trying to stay active, independent and pain-free. In each part of this video, we'll go over one common fruit that may seem healthy, but could secretly be draining your energy, weakening your muscles or increasing inflammation in your legs. If you've been feeling more tired in your legs, struggling with balance, or noticing slower recovery after walking or standing, this video is for you. Before we begin, leave us a comment below telling us how old you are and where you're watching from. It helps grow our community and allows other seniors to feel supported and less alone on their health journey. Together, we can share advice, encouragement, and natural solutions that truly make a difference. Now let's get started and uncover the first fruit you might need to stop eating to keep your legs strong and steady. Have you ever thought a sweet, juicy orange could be doing more harm than good? For many seniors, oranges are seen as a healthy staple, a source of vitamin C, hydration, and a quick energy boost. But if you're over 60 and noticing weaker legs, more muscle cramps, or slower recovery after walking or standing, the orange might be playing a bigger role than you think. Let's take a closer look at how something so seemingly healthy could work against your strength and mobility. Oranges are one of the most popular fruits in the world. They're high in antioxidants, they support the immune system, and they're often recommended for fighting off colds. But for older adults, especially those trying to maintain strong legs and prevent falls, there's another side to this citrus fruit that's often overlooked: its effect on blood sugar and inflammation. Here's the thing. Oranges are high in a type of sugar called fructose. When you eat a whole orange, you're also getting fiber, which slows the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream. That's better than orange juice for sure, but even whole oranges have a high glycemic index, which means they can cause a sharp rise in blood sugar after eating. For seniors, especially those with borderline or diagnosed insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, these blood sugar spikes can directly impact energy levels, inflammation, and even nerve health in the legs. And it doesn't stop there. That blood sugar surge leads to an insulin response. Over time, repeated spikes, even from healthy-looking foods, can make your muscles less responsive to insulin. And when that happens, your muscle cells don't get the energy they need. This can lead to slower repair, increased fatigue, and in some cases, the loss of lean muscle mass. That's a huge problem for seniors because muscle strength in the legs is critical to staying mobile, independent, and safe from falls. Research supports this concern. A 2019 study published in Nutrients found that high fructose intake, even from fruit sources, was linked to higher levels of inflammation markers in older adults. Another study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism reported that chronic blood sugar fluctuations can accelerate the loss of muscle function in aging populations, especially in the lower body. So what should you do if you love oranges? You don't have to give them up completely, but moderation is key. Instead of having an entire orange daily, try cutting back to half or enjoy it only a few times a week. Always eat it alongside protein or healthy fats, like a handful of nuts or a slice of avocado. This helps slow the sugar absorption even further and reduces the insulin spike. It's also smart to replace daily orange habits with other low-glycemic, anti-inflammatory fruits that are gentler on your body, like berries, kiwi, or green apples. These fruits offer antioxidants too, but with less impact on blood sugar and a better balance of nutrients that support muscle repair and joint health. One more tip: stay away from store-bought orange juice. Even the no sugar added types are still highly concentrated in fructose and stripped of fiber. Drinking orange juice can flood your bloodstream with sugar even faster than eating the fruit itself. For leg strength and longevity, that's a step in the wrong direction. A word of caution here: if you're on certain medications like statins or blood pressure pills, oranges, especially Seville or bitter oranges, can interact with your medication metabolism. Always double-check with your doctor before adding more citrus to your routine if you're managing health conditions. To sum it up, while oranges aren't evil, They may not be the best daily fruit for seniors looking to maintain leg strength and reduce inflammation. Understanding how even healthy foods affect your aging body is a powerful step toward better vitality. Your body knows how to heal. Sometimes it just needs the right foods to support that process. Bananas are often thought of as the ultimate healthy snack, convenient, tasty, and packed with potassium. And while it's true that potassium is essential for muscle and nerve function, there's more to the story when it comes to bananas and leg strength in seniors. Let's start with a simple question. Have you ever felt your legs unusually heavy or tired after a meal or snack? Or experienced leg cramps even though you're trying to eat healthy? Bananas could be playing a role, especially if you're eating them daily or as your main fruit. First, it's important to understand how bananas affect your blood sugar. Despite their creamy texture and natural look, bananas are quite high in sugar, especially ripe ones. A medium banana can contain around 14 grams of sugar and has a glycemic index that increases as the fruit ripens. This means the riper the banana, the more quickly it raises your blood sugar. Now here's why that matters. Frequent spikes in blood sugar cause insulin to surge. Over time, especially in older adults, the body becomes less sensitive to insulin, a condition known as insulin resistance. This can directly reduce the muscle's ability to absorb glucose efficiently. And when your muscles, especially in the legs, aren't getting the energy they need, they weaken faster, recover slower, and fatigue more easily. On top of that, bananas contain a compound called tyramine, especially as they become overripe. In sensitive individuals, tyramine can contribute to blood vessel constriction and has even been linked to increased muscle tension or discomfort in some cases. While not dangerous for everyone, it's worth paying attention to how your body reacts. There's also the fiber issue. Unlike berries or apples, bananas are low in soluble fiber, the kind that slows sugar absorption and feeds healthy gut bacteria. And for seniors, fiber isn't just about digestion. It plays a big role in managing inflammation, blood sugar control, and muscle repair. That means a banana-heavy diet may not be offering the full support your body needs, especially your legs. Let's bring in the research. A 2020 review in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted that frequent consumption of high glycemic fruits like ripe bananas was associated with decreased muscle performance in older adults over time. The combination of sugar, low fiber, and limited anti-inflammatory compounds may explain the connection. So what should you do if you love bananas? Moderation is key. If you enjoy bananas, choose less ripe ones, the kind that still have a little green. These have a lower glycemic impact and contain more resistant starch, which supports gut health and slows sugar absorption. Also, try limiting bananas to a few times per week, rather than daily. And whenever you eat one, pair it with protein, like Greek yogurt or a boiled egg, to help balance blood sugar. Another option is to rotate bananas with fruits that are better suited to supporting leg strength and stability. Berries, kiwi, and pears all have lower glycemic loads and higher fiber content, making them gentler on your blood sugar and more supportive of muscle recovery. And a quick note: if you're on certain medications, like MAO inhibitors for mood or Parkinson's symptoms, tyramine from overripe bananas could cause unwanted interactions. It's always best to check with your doctor if you're unsure. In closing, bananas aren't necessarily bad, but if you're over 60 and concerned about your leg strength or muscle fatigue, it might be time to rethink how often and how. Ripe your bananas are small changes in your diet can lead to big improvements in how you feel. Your legs carry you through life. Let's give them the fuel they need to stay strong. They're sweet, bite-sized, and easy to snack on, but did you know grapes might be quietly undermining your muscle strength as you age? Grapes are often seen as a healthy choice. They're rich in antioxidants like resveratrol, which is known for heart protection. But while they offer some benefits, they come with downsides seniors can't afford to ignore, especially when it comes to leg strength, muscle endurance, and inflammation. Let's take a closer look. The first thing to understand is that grapes are very high in natural sugars. A small cup, about 150 grams, contains around 23 grams of sugar. That's almost the same as a can of soda. And unlike fruits that have higher fiber to slow sugar absorption, grapes are mostly water and sugar, with very little fiber to balance things out. For older adults, this is a concern because sudden blood sugar spikes can lead to crashes in energy. And over time, chronic blood sugar instability can damage blood vessels and nerves, particularly in the lower limbs. That leads to reduced circulation, slower healing, and weaker muscle contractions in the legs. Studies back this up. A 2018 publication in Diabetes and Metabolic Syndrome found that high sugar diets, even when sugar comes from fruit, were associated with an increased risk of sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. This means that eating grapes frequently may contribute to gradual muscle weakening, especially in the lower body. There's another angle to consider: inflammation. Grapes are rich in natural compounds like fructose and polyols. While not dangerous in small amounts, these can be poorly absorbed in the gut by many seniors, especially those with slower digestion or mild digestive issues. This can lead to gas, bloating, and systemic inflammation, which over time stresses the immune system and interferes with muscle recovery. And let's not forget about portion control. Grapes are so easy to overeat. A handful turns into half the bowl before you even notice. That's a lot of sugar for aging muscles to process. Unlike apples or oranges, where one piece is usually enough, grapes encourage passive overeating. That adds up quickly and can silently contribute to chronic fatigue, soreness, or trouble standing up from a chair. So, what can you do? Start by treating grapes as an occasional treat, not an everyday snack. If you do eat them, limit your portion to a small handful, about 10-15 grapes, and always pair them with a protein or healthy fat. For example, enjoy them with a slice of cheese, some plain Greek yogurt, or a few walnuts. This helps buffer the sugar and reduce the blood sugar spike. You can also try replacing grapes with lower sugar, fiber-rich fruits like raspberries, blackberries, or kiwi. These offer antioxidants too, but with less sugar and more support for muscle stability and joint health. And a quick safety note: grapes can be a hidden problem if you're taking certain medications. They may interfere with blood pressure drugs or blood thinners, especially in large quantities. Always consult your doctor if grapes are a regular part of your diet and you're managing a chronic condition. In summary, grapes aren't toxic, but they aren't as harmless as they seem either. When you're over 60, every food you eat plays a bigger role in how your body feels and functions. By understanding how sugary fruits affect your muscles and energy, you can make smarter choices that keep your legs strong and your body active. You're never too old to take back control of your health, one small choice at a time. Pineapple is one of those fruits that feels like a celebration. It's juicy, sweet, and refreshingly tangy, often found in summer salads, tropical drinks, or just eaten fresh on a sunny day. But for seniors focused on joint health and strong legs, pineapple might not be as innocent as it seems. Have you ever felt a burning sensation in your mouth after eating pineapple, or noticed joint stiffness or discomfort the next day? There's a scientific reason for that, and it could be affecting your muscle strength and recovery more than you realize. Let's start with the basics. Pineapple contains an enzyme called bromelain. This enzyme helps break down protein in your mouth and digestive system. And it's also what gives pineapple that slight sting or tingling feeling when you eat too much. Bromelain is often marketed for its anti-inflammatory benefits, and while it can be helpful in specific controlled doses, eating too much fresh pineapple can irritate your mouth, digestive tract, and, in some people, even increase joint sensitivity. Now, for seniors with sensitive joints or mild arthritis, this enzyme isn't always a friend. Though bromelain might reduce inflammation in theory, in real life it can act like an irritant for some older adults. Combined with the pineapple's high acidity and sugar content, it may actually worsen inflammation, not relieve it. And that's not all. A single cup of pineapple contains over 16 grams of sugar and very little fiber. That sugar spike can do more harm than good for leg strength. As with the previous fruits we've discussed, quick rises in blood sugar lead to insulin spikes, which over time contribute to muscle weakness and slower repair. For seniors trying to stay mobile, That's a risk not worth ignoring. There's also the acidity factor. Pineapple has one of the highest acid contents among fruits. For seniors with acid reflux, joint inflammation, or chronic body pain, acidic foods can trigger or worsen flare-ups. Acidity can also interfere with the absorption of minerals like calcium and magnesium, which are essential for maintaining strong bones and muscle function. Let's look at what research says. A 2017 study published in Clinical Nutrition linked high-fructose tropical fruits, including pineapple, with increased markers of oxidative stress in older adults. That oxidative stress contributes to muscle fatigue, joint pain, and even slower balance reactions, all of which can reduce leg strength and increase the risk of falls. So, what's the takeaway? If you enjoy pineapple occasionally, that's okay, but treat it like a dessert, not a daily health food. Try limiting your portion to just a few small chunks and avoid drinking pineapple juice, which is even more concentrated in sugar and acid. And never eat it on an empty stomach. This can intensify the enzyme's irritating effects. If you're looking for fruits that still offer flavor but with less sugar and acidity, try papaya or melon. These are gentler on digestion, lower in sugar, and can still satisfy that tropical fruit craving without stressing your muscles or joints. Also, keep an eye on how your body feels after eating pineapple. Some seniors may tolerate it better than others, but if you notice more inflammation, soreness, or digestive issues afterward, it's a sign to cut back. And a quick warning. If you're taking blood thinners or anti-inflammatory medications, bromelain in pineapple can interact with those drugs and increase the risk of bleeding. Always talk to your healthcare provider if you eat pineapple regularly and take medications that affect blood clotting or inflammation. To sum it up, pineapple might seem like a vibrant, healthy fruit, but if you're over 60 and dealing with muscle fatigue or joint issues, it could be quietly working against your strength goals. Sometimes the sweetest choices aren't the best fuel for aging legs. You deserve a body that supports your every step, and that starts with choosing foods that truly nourish and protect it. Imagine it's a warm afternoon, and you sit down with a cool slice of watermelon. Sweet, hydrating, and satisfying. It feels like one of the healthiest snacks out there. But if you're over 60 and trying to maintain leg strength, balance, and energy, you might want to take a second look at how much watermelon you're really eating. Watermelon is over 90% water, which sounds like a great thing for hydration. It's also low in calories and contains antioxidants like lycopene and vitamin C, but here's the catch. Watermelon has one of the highest glycemic indexes of all fruits. That means it causes a very fast rise in blood sugar after eating, especially when consumed on its own. When blood sugar spikes quickly, your body releases a strong insulin response. This sudden flood of insulin can lead to a rapid drop in energy, especially for seniors whose insulin sensitivity is already reduced due to age. What follows is not just tiredness, but poor glucose delivery to your muscles, particularly your large leg muscles, which need a steady flow of fuel to stay strong. Here's where the trouble starts. Over time, these repeated sugar spikes and crashes impair your body's ability to build or maintain lean muscle. Your legs may feel weaker, shakier, or even cramp more often. The muscles simply aren't getting the consistent, steady energy they need. To support this, a 2021 study published in Frontiers in Endocrinology highlighted that older adults who frequently consumed high GI fruits, such as watermelon, experienced a faster decline in lower body strength and endurance. It wasn't just about sugar, but how the body processed that sugar without enough fiber or protein to slow it down. Let's not forget the serving size. Most people don't eat a small portion of watermelon. A single large wedge can contain up to 20 grams of sugar, all delivered very quickly into your bloodstream. And because watermelon is so light, it's easy to eat multiple slices in one sitting, leading to a hidden overload of sugar that feels healthy. Also, even though watermelon contains some antioxidants, it lacks fiber, fat, or protein, all of which are crucial for slowing sugar absorption and helping you feel full. That's why it doesn't keep you satisfied for long, and you're likely to reach for more or pair it with other sugary foods. Now, how can you still enjoy watermelon without compromising your leg strength? First, Treat watermelon like a treat, not a daily fruit. Enjoy it in small portions, preferably as part of a meal that includes protein and healthy fats, such as grilled chicken or a salad with olive oil. This helps minimize the blood sugar spike and supports steady energy. Second, avoid eating watermelon on an empty stomach. This is when the sugar absorption is fastest and most damaging. Try combining it with nuts, plain yogurt, or cottage cheese for a more balanced snack that won't leave your muscles feeling empty. Another good idea is to alternate your fruit choices. Choose lower GI fruits like berries, pears, or citrus with pulp. They're better for muscle metabolism and more filling overall. These fruits also offer more fiber, which your gut, joints, and muscles will thank you for. One final note. If you're pre-diabetic, diabetic, or prone to fatigue after meals, pay attention to how watermelon makes you feel. If your legs feel heavy or you crash an hour after eating it, your body may be telling you something. To summarize, watermelon may look like a perfect summer snack, but for seniors aiming to protect their strength, stability, and energy, it's worth rethinking. A few slices here and there are fine, but daily or excessive consumption might be quietly working against your goals. Your strength doesn't just depend on movement, it depends on the fuel you give your muscles every day. Dried fruits may seem like a smart, convenient snack, easy to store, naturally sweet, and full of vitamins, but for older adults trying to protect their leg strength and overall energy, dried fruits can quietly work against you in more ways than one. Let's break this down. What are dried fruits really? They're regular fruits with all the water removed. That might sound harmless, but here's the problem. When the water is gone, all the natural sugars become concentrated. A small handful of dried fruit can contain as much sugar as a full-sized candy bar. For example, a quarter cup of raisins, just a tiny palmful, packs about 30 grams of sugar. That's more than what you'd find in a glazed donut. Dates, dried figs, prunes, dried apricots, they all fall into this same category of high sugar, low water, low fiber foods. And while they do contain nutrients like iron and potassium, the trade-off for blood sugar and inflammation can be costly, especially for seniors. When you consume that much concentrated sugar in one sitting, your blood sugar spikes fast. That triggers a strong insulin response. And as we've talked about in earlier parts of this series, high insulin levels over time can wear down muscle cells' ability to absorb glucose properly, leading to fatigue, weakness, and reduced endurance, especially in the legs. A 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that high dietary sugar, even from natural sources like dried fruit, was associated with increased frailty and slower walking speed in people over 65. Researchers believe this is due to a combination of insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and oxidative stress, all of which impair muscle strength and recovery. Dried fruit also tends to be stripped of water and fiber, two things that naturally slow down sugar absorption and help keep your body balanced. Without those components, sugar from dried fruit hits your bloodstream fast and hard. That's not what you want when you're trying to stay active and support your muscles. There's another factor many don't consider: added ingredients. Most commercial dried fruits have added sugar, preservatives like sulfur dioxide, and sometimes even artificial flavoring. These additives can cause bloating, headaches, joint discomfort, and inflammation, all of which interfere with muscle function and recovery. So what can you do if you enjoy dried fruit? First, check the label. Look for varieties that are unsweetened, unsulfured, and minimally processed. These are less inflammatory and better tolerated by the digestive system. Second, limit your portion size. 1 or 2 dried apricots or a couple. Serve prunes is plenty. Don't eat them like candy. And always eat them with a protein or fat source. A few almonds or a piece of cheese can go a long way toward balancing your blood sugar response. Even better, replace dried fruits with fresh, water-rich fruits like apple slices, cucumber with a dash of cinnamon, or a few slices of kiwi. These hydrate your body, offer fiber, and support steadier energy, all without the sugar overload. And remember, hydration matters. Dried fruits lack water, and if you're not drinking enough fluids, it can lead to dehydration. Dehydrated. Muscles are more prone to cramping, fatigue, and slow recovery, especially in the legs, where circulation is already more challenged with age. One final caution. Dried fruit can be problematic for those with digestive issues, especially IBS, or slow motility. The concentrated sugar and polyols in dried fruits can ferment in the gut, leading to gas, bloating, or discomfort that zaps your energy and limits your movement. In summary, dried fruits are small but mighty, and not always in a good way. While they offer some nutrients, their high sugar content, lack of water, and impact on blood sugar make them a poor choice for daily snacking if you're over 60 and focused on leg strength, balance, and vitality. Nourish your muscles with foods that energize and support them, not ones that drain your strength quietly over time. Mango, the king of fruits, rich, golden, and sweet like honey, it's one of the most loved tropical fruits in the world. But behind that smooth flavor and juicy texture, mango may be doing more harm than good for seniors concerned about leg strength, blood sugar stability, and daily energy. So let's ask a simple question. Have you ever felt sluggish or heavy after eating mango? Maybe your legs feel less responsive, or you get a crash of energy shortly after that tropical treat? That's not your imagination. There's science behind it. To begin, mango is extremely high in natural sugar. A single medium mango contains about 45 grams of sugar, nearly the same as a slice of cake. And while it also includes fiber, the balance of fiber to sugar isn't ideal for those over 60 who may already have slower glucose metabolism. When you eat mango, your blood sugar can spike sharply, especially if eaten on an empty stomach or without protein and fat to buffer. That sudden spike triggers a big insulin release. Over time, frequent spikes like this reduce insulin sensitivity, meaning your muscles, including those in your legs, struggle to absorb glucose efficiently. The result? Less energy for walking, climbing stairs, or even standing from a chair. It gets more serious. A 2019 study in diabetes care found that adults over 60 who consumed high-fructose tropical fruits regularly had reduced muscle strength in the lower limbs over time. Their walking speed slowed, and they experienced more fatigue, even when their overall diet appeared healthy. Mango is also quite acidic, which can cause problems if you have joint issues or arthritis. For some seniors, high-acid fruits trigger mild inflammation, fluid retention, or even discomfort in the knees and ankles, all of which weaken your ability to stay active and mobile. There's another subtle concern. Mango can be very easy to overeat. Its creamy texture and sweet flavor make it more like dessert than a snack. Sliced mango often comes in large portions, and store-bought mango products, like dried mango or smoothies, contain even more sugar than fresh fruit. These processed forms strip out fiber and amplify the sugar load even further. So what's the smart approach? First, treat mango like a treat, not a health staple. 1 or 2 slices a few times a week is more than enough. Avoid mango smoothies, juices and dried versions if you're trying to protect your energy, joints or blood sugar. Second, always eat mango with a source of protein or fat. A few cubes with cottage cheese, a handful of nuts, or a small piece of grilled chicken can slow sugar absorption and support better glucose balance. And if you're craving something tropical, swap mango for papaya. It has less sugar, is gentler on the stomach, and still gives you that island flavor. Papaya also contains enzymes that aid digestion without spiking blood sugar the way mango does. Here's a quick safety tip. If you have a latex allergy or are sensitive to poison ivy, mango, skin can trigger a reaction because of a compound called urushiol. Always peel mango fully and wash your hands afterward to avoid skin irritation. In summary, mango isn't evil, but it can be too much of a good thing, especially for seniors concerned about muscle strength, joint pain, and metabolic health. The foods you eat directly impact how you move, how strong your legs feel, and how much energy you have for daily life. Choose foods that support your body, not just your taste buds.